Prairie Dog versus Ground Squirrel, who's the ultimate burrow boss. You might walk right past them without noticing, but beneath your feet, a hidden war is always underway. Meet the two tiny champions of underground engineering, the Prairie Dog and the Ground Squirrel. One lives in loud, crowded neighborhoods full of chatter and watchtowers. The other, a silent loner, digging deep, dark tunnels and vanishing before danger even knows it's close. Two tunnel experts, one dirt battlefield. They may be small, but their underground cities are massive, some stretching across entire fields. They build for safety, for food, for family, and sometimes, for territory. So, who's the better digger? Who has the smarter survival tricks? Who truly rules the burrow world? Today, we're going below the surface to find out. This isn't just a backyard battle. It's a full-on tunnel war. Let's dig in. Prairie Dog. The loud architect. Don't let the name fool you. Prairie dogs aren't dogs at all. They're actually rodents, closely related to squirrels. What sets them apart? Community. Prairie dogs live in massive groups called towns, where dozens, sometimes hundreds, of them share a complex system of tunnels. These towns are full of activity, barking alarms, playful pups, sentry duty, and non-stop digging. Prairie dogs are loud, social, and incredibly organized. Each tunnel has rooms for sleeping, nurseries for babies, and even dedicated escape routes. Burrow systems are so advanced that other animals, including snakes, owls, and insects, move in too. When it comes to building a community, prairie dogs are top-tier engineers. Ground squirrel. The silent specialist ground squirrels might look similar, but they live a very different lifestyle. These creatures are quieter, quicker, and more solitary. They often dig deep, narrow tunnels with just one or two hidden exits. They don't rely on others for safety. Instead, they count on speed, stealth, and strategy. Ground squirrels are excellent hoarders. They store seeds and food underground, preparing for anything. You'll rarely hear them. You'll barely see them. But beneath the surface, they're masters of low-profile survival. Different styles, same goal. The prairie dog builds a neighborhood. The ground squirrel builds a hideout. One relies on strength and numbers. The other, on the power of staying unnoticed. But in the wild, there's only room for one top tunnel champ. If survival starts with shelter, then these two are master builders. But their burrow styles couldn't be more different. Prairie dogs don't just dig holes, they create entire neighborhoods. Some prairie dog towns stretch for miles and contain thousands of individuals. Inside, the burrow isn't random, it's a carefully laid out multi-room structure, often including, their tunnels usually go 3 to 10 feet deep and can extend over 30 feet long. The entrances are marked with mounds of dirt, which help with drainage and give lookouts a raised view. These systems aren't just homes, they're defensive networks that help the whole colony survive. The solo survivalist, ground squirrels, on the other hand, go for stealth over size. Their burrows are narrower, deeper, and harder to find. Most are designed for one or a few individuals, and often have the tunnels go 6 to 10 feet deep, with a twisty, confusing layout that helps fool predators. There are no raised mounds. From above, you might never guess what lies beneath. Their goal isn't to host neighbors, it's to hide, store food, and stay invisible. Prairie dogs build shared cities full of noise and movement. Ground squirrels build private bunkers, quiet, hidden, and hard to break into. Both systems work. Both are brilliant. But when space runs out and territories overlap, whose design keeps them safer? And who gives them the upper hand in a dirt-side showdown? Prairie dogs are highly visual animals. They stand upright, scanning the horizon for threats like hawks, coyotes, or snakes. Their vision is wide and sharp, perfect for spotting danger from far away. But their greatest strength? Teamwork. 1. Prairie dog always plays the role of lookout. When it spots danger, it lets out a sharp, high-pitched bark, a warning call that instantly sends the others diving into tunnels. These alarm calls can even describe the type of predator, how fast it's coming, and from what direction. It's not just noise, it's a full security system. Ground squirrels are quieter and more independent. They don't rely on group alerts, they rely on themselves. Their sense of smell is powerful, helping them detect predators long before they're seen. Their ears are tuned for small sounds, like rustling grass or distant wing beats. They also stay close to their burrow entrances and only pop out for short periods. They're fast thinkers. If they sense anything off, they're gone in a flash. Prairie dogs depend on communication. Ground squirrels rely on stealth, instincts, and lightning-fast reflexes. One is always scanning with a group behind them, the other trusts its own senses, always ready to vanish no matter the method. Both are experts at staying one step ahead of danger. Living underground means working smart above ground, especially when it comes to finding food. Without becoming food, prairie dogs are selective grazers. They mostly eat grasses, roots, seeds, and flowers. Instead of roaming far, they stick close to their burrow entrances, always within a quick dash to safety. They forage in small family groups, constantly alert, constantly listening for alarm calls. If one senses danger, the entire group bolts underground. They also trim tall grass and plants around their tunnels to keep their sightlines clear, creating a safer foraging space. It's a mix of lawn care and survival strategy. Ground squirrels are more adventurous. They'll travel farther from their burrows to find food, including seeds, nuts, fruit, insects, and even small animals if needed. And they don't just eat, they hoard. They bring food back to underground storage chambers, preparing for colder seasons or sudden threats. This behavior makes them independent and resourceful, able to survive longer without needing to resurface often. They tend to forage alone, staying silent and low to the ground to avoid detection. Prairie dogs, short-distance grazers, group safety, open sightlines. Ground squirrels, long-distance gatherers, solo stealth, hidden food stashes. Thrives with teamwork and careful routines. The other survives through flexibility, quiet movement, and planning ahead. Both have mastered the art of staying fed, without getting caught. In open grasslands and fields, danger is always just a shadow away. Hawks, snakes, foxes, coyotes, they all hunt underground dwellers. But prairie dogs and ground squirrels don't just dig to hide. Their entire lives are built around defense strategy. Prairie dogs are the definition of defensive teamwork. Every colony has dedicated lookouts, posted on high mounds, scanning non-stop. When danger appears, the lookout barks, loud, sharp, and specific. One call, and dozens vanish below in seconds. They don't run far, they run smart. And when your whole neighborhood watches your back, survival odds go up. Ground squirrels take a different approach. They avoid conflict entirely, until they can't. Their defenses rely on stealth, surprise, and speed. If a rattlesnake approaches, a ground squirrel will sometimes heat up its tail, creating an infrared signal that confuses the snake. Some even kick sand at snakes, bluff charging before darting back underground. And since they forage alone, they don't attract as much attention. Their strategy: stay invisible until the last second, then disappear. Prairie dogs, loud, organized, and bold in groups. Ground squirrels, quiet, sneaky, and fast in solo play. One is a village watchtower, the other a bunker escape artist, in a world full of hungry eyes and sharp teeth. Both species prove there's more than one way to outwit a predator. Nature doesn't play favorites, but it does reward strategy. And when scientists and wildlife observers watch prairie dogs and ground squirrels in action, they see two survival masters working in very different ways. Ground squirrels are snake savvy in a different way. In areas where they live near rattlesnakes, they've developed a special trick, heating up their tails and waving them. Rattlesnakes, which see infrared, mistake the tail for a threat and back off. They've also been seen digging up snake burrows to check if the coast is clear, or even chase snakes from their dens. What the wild teaches us: prairie dogs show us the power of the crowd. Ground squirrels show us the genius of the solo survivor. Both are small, but their actions speak volumes. Imagine a wide open patch of grassy land, flat but dotted with shrubs, rocks, and a few trees. On one side, a group of prairie dogs. On the other, a lone but fast-moving ground squirrel. Neither knows the other has claimed this space until their tunnels begin to overlap. The prairie dogs arrive first. Within days, they've started building. Mounds appear, paths form, pups play. Their complex system grows outward. Chambers here, exits there. They bark, watch, and work as a team. This is their land now, but under the roots of a nearby tree, the ground stirs. A ground squirrel has chosen this spot for its own. Quiet and efficient, it digs deep, fast, and hidden. No mounds, no chatter. Just a sleek, strategic tunnel system below their noses. The prairie dogs don't notice at first, too busy managing their growing town. But one day, a prairie dog digging a new tunnel suddenly meets resistance. A narrow shaft, too tight for comfort, runs straight into its path. It retreats, confused. The next morning, one of the side chambers collapsed, filled with loose dirt. An intruder. Tensions rise. The ground squirrel, meanwhile, digs deeper, rerouting its passage to avoid detection, but occasionally sabotaging shallow prairie dog exits to protect its space. Now the real face-off begins. A prairie dog spots a small shadow zipping across the open space. It barks, loud and sharp. The colony freezes. Then one charges. The squirrel vanishes in a blur. They meet again later. Brief eye contact, then both dive underground. This isn't about fighting claws-2-claws, it's about tunnel dominance. The squirrel begins redirecting prairie dog tunnels by causing minor cave-ins. It reclaims areas with stealth. Prairie dogs, confused by these disruptions, post more sentries and double the digging effort, but the squirrel thrives on chaos. It darts silently through tighter tunnels the prairie dogs can't fit, through reclaiming space inch by inch. Who wins? There is no full-blown battle, no blood, no victor's roar. Only quiet victories, one tunnel at a time. The prairie dogs maintain the surface. The ground squirrel rules the shadows. It's a stalemate, for now, but in the world beneath our feet, every inch of dirt is a battlefield, and no one gives up space without a fight. So, who's the real burrow boss? If you value community, communication, and complex design, the Prairie Dog takes the crown. Their towns are architectural wonders, built for defense and teamwork. Their alarms save lives. Their loyalty holds colonies together, but if you admire stealth, speed, and smart survival, the ground squirrel stands tall. It thrives alone, adjusts fast, and outsmarts bigger predators without ever being seen. Its quiet burrow is a fortress of one. One chose strength in numbers, the other chose silence and speed, and both succeeded on their terms. That's the beauty of nature. Not every rivalry ends with a crown. Sometimes survival itself is the victory. So, who rules the underground? Are you with hashtag Team Prairie Dog for teamwork, tunnels, and tiny towns? Or does hashtag Team Ground Squirrel wins your vote for stealth, speed, solo survival? Drop your favorite in the comments below. Like this video if you learned something new, subscribe for more wild face-offs, backyard rivalries, and nature's hidden battles.